Nate here from Lionfish Extermination. Bloop. We're dropping down deep and fast like the stock market to bring you guys some awesome footage. These lionfish have been tariffing these reefs for too long. Nice slow motion shot here. Boom! That was some pretty cool coral there. And the reef's rate of tariff is unacceptable. Right now it's at 250%. And boom! None of the other fish on the reef tariff the reef nearly as much. Boom! It's a nice little lionfish kebab. So we are going to have to take care of it and straighten this out. It's just not fair. The amount of tariffs have been ghastly. Boom. Normally fish barely, they'll have a bite to eat here or there, but the lionfish just hound the reef. They remove every little fish from it. Right now, they're just chilling on the reef waiting for the little fish to come by, and they'll slowly stalk them into the corner, and they'll just gobble them up left and right all day long, and it's a really unfair fight. Some people say, hey, why don't you just leave these fish alone? You're hurting animals here. But the thing is, we are eating these fish, so we're not out here trying to hurt things. We're trying to prevent things from being hurt. People say, well, these fish are part of the ecosystem. Like, why would you have to remove something that's in the ocean? The ocean is the ocean, right? Fish live in the ocean. And that mindset is exactly how this invasive fish got here in the first place. People just said, oh, you know what? The storm's coming and my power is going to get cut off. I've got to do something with my lionfish, and I might as well just throw it in the ocean. It's the ocean, right? It's not going to hurt anything. Either they were ignorant to this fact, or they knew, they actually knew that this was going to cause a problem, but they didn't care. They just wanted to not have to deal with the problem of having this lionfish in their tank. And they knew that if their power was cut off during a storm, most likely all the fish would die in the tank. So the quickest and easiest solution before they, head off to Georgia or wherever they're going to go to escape the hurricane that was coming towards them, they decided, I'll just throw this lionfish in the ocean along with all my other tropical fish. We've seen other fish like this really cool sailfin tang. I think it was called Sunny. A really cute fish, totally from the South Pacific where these lionfish are from. And we've seen those down at the bottom, of the ocean as well. And they shouldn't be there, but at the same time, those guys don't cause much of a problem. They don't eat the same things that lionfish eat. They kind of just peck at the reef and clean off little things, little organisms that aren't as imperative, to the health of the reef. Whereas lionfish eat everything that moves. They're known to have eaten crazy stuff. Like they'll eat crabs, they'll eat baby lobsters. They like to consume some stuff like these mantis shrimps, which are not a shrimp or a mantis. Look at how cute this guy is. And eels are known to eat them where they're from, but here they haven't quite learned that they can eat them. And most of the time when they go for them, they don't get the bite, and they don't get the catch, and they just end up with a poked nose, and they're in a lot of pain, and that's about it. Look at those teeth that go right down the center of the jaw, right through the middle of the mouth. Isn't that interesting? And down there in this hole that you're looking into, there's this little set of jaws that once they capture, by biting down on a fish, that extra set of jaws pops out and grabs their prey. See those little eyes? They look like those little eyes, those little plastic ones where they bobble around inside of there. They look exactly like little cartoon eyes. So cute. Got another one there. You see the reef? People say, oh, it looks so dead. Actually, every inch of what you're seeing right now is covered in life. Those are all encrusted sponges all over everything. Or if it's not a sponge, it's algae, or it's a little seaweed, some sort of plant life. Or it's a little soft coral or a hard coral. But every inch of that is like carpet of all kinds of critters. And if you look down in the sand, of course, you're not going to see any structural life, but you have little tiny organisms that live all over in the sand. So everything around you is alive, and even if it looks fairly dead. People say, well, there's no color, it's hardly any color. And that's simply because when you go down deep in the ocean, you don't see those colors because of boom. A lot of the stuff is a really cool slow motion capture, so you can really kind of see the textures and slow things down and see what everything really looks like and get a look at what's actually down there. what's happening. So you see how it jumps and flips like that? Every time when I shoot one of these guys, I basically have only one hand. So I throw the spear up in the air and then catch it, and that allows me to readjust and get my hand out of the loop. You see that? There's his mouth there. That is a sea cucumber, and this one stretches really far, and they kind of hide out underneath things and stretch their little bodies out. And this is a angelfish. You guys have probably heard of freshwater angelfish or saltwater angelfish, but this one is called a French angelfish, and you can see the really scarred up ends. It looks like, I'm gonna guess, that some sort of fish, probably an eel, tried to grab a hold of this guy and, you know, make it a meal at one point in its life, and it left these nasty scars. It could just be an abnormality from birth, but most likely it is from a scar from almost being eaten. Boom! Just got him on the lip, so that's a great shot for, you know, keeping the meat of the lionfish safe. People say all the time, what happens if you put them in this container here, the zookeeper, and those little spines poke another lionfish? What's going to happen? Is it going to ruin the meat? Is it going to cause toxic meat or something like that? And the truth is, look at that, synchronized swimming. Beautiful. Those were a couple of queen angelfish. The meat is just fine. One angelfish. Boom! Look at that big one under there. Holy barnacles. The meat is just fine. Venom is edible, so you can take one of those spines and poke it in your, in the meat and eat it raw. That little bit of venom, boom, if it was poked inside of your body, would be absolute hell. It would be so darn painful. But since it's going in your mouth and not in an open wound, boom, miss. I end up getting the same one. You see this little mark on his side. It is just fine. You can actually eat, small amounts of venom. I don't recommend you drink a pint of venom, but as far as little amounts of venom, your body, it's different. It's not poison. It's just venom. So it affects you. Boom. When you get poked it and it goes into your bloodstream. But when you eat venom, there's literally no issues unless you're somehow allergic to it. So you're just fine. If you cook the meat, then it is just fine too. Boom. Look at that beautiful coral right there. Just layers of this beautiful hard coral. Oh man, I cannot hit this guy for the life of me. Goodness gracious. So don't worry. There it is. See, it's so dusty over here. This isn't in Miami. And Miami's super dusty because there's hardly any movement. There's not a lot of current. And current is usually what kind of moves along this little bit of silt. And look at me sneaking up on him right through here. There's the shot. Holy mackerel. That was a good sized one. They love hiding underneath these sea fans. So it's a perfectly fine thing to eat. Lionfish is good for you. Look, I stoned him. He turned all white. That means his brain functionality is gone. He's completely... So it's like when you get spooked and you turn it ghostly white, when you faint or whatever. Same kind of thing. It's critical damage. And jam them in here. This is my this is a huge zookeeper. This is called a mega zookeeper, or a zombie keeper, I like to call it. There's a nice little cowfish, or a trunkfish, I'm sorry. And it can hold up to 28 pounds of these fish. People often ask, like, how many, is that? Boom. And it just depends on how big the lionfish is. If the lionfish takes 5 of them to make a pound, you could have a lot of lionfish in this container. But usually there's a vast variety of sizes. And the most I've ever found in one dive and was able to take up with me was like 45, 50 fish. And that's when I filled one of these great big containers up. Boom. Before that, it was 40 fish. That was my top number that I ever got. And nice slow motion action for the second shot. Boom. It's pretty cool. And look at that. Those are sponges, these things that are climbing up towards you there on the top of the screen. And those are soft corals, also called gorgonias. Geez, where's the time gone? Guys, you've been watching for over 9 minutes. Go ahead and give me a follow. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you.